G'day. Here we are, week 6 Circa contest with Vegas horse bulls proxy numbers. Just off 25 days on the road, finally back home. Uh, Came from Vegas this morning, just arrived, 45 minutes ago. So, yes, sorry for the tardiness, a little bit late. Just travel days end up being travel days, and these days it feels like every day is a travel day. So, Scott, what do we got? Week 6. I mean, hang on. You picked it last week. You said all the word on the street was carnage, 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 and guess what we got? Carnage, myself included. But I did survive.
You
I have
did.
4 of my 8 from last week. So yeah, let's get into it.
Although one of the picks you made startled me on Survivor. I won't say what it was, but it was not Green Bay. The very first one I entered for you. I thought maybe you were in the wrong contest, but I'll let you talk about that if you want. But I'm getting a couple phone calls here about Arizona, Bet Chris. Is it true you have moved Nebraska to even money to win the national title in Arizona?
I will say this though. I did go and take some 500 to ones this week on your Nebraska boys.
I believe it. 500 to
So
1, you're giving money away.
So yeah, I was looking through it. I was reading some old articles, preseason stuff, and things I was going through, and someone had tipped them at I think it was like 130 to 1. And I was going through the standings the last few days, looking at things, and then I saw one place that I could access while I was up north was 500. So I've had a tickle at it.
Oh, you've even got some. I'm glad to see that. That's easy money right now. Nebraska's back, and they proved it again today. This is 2 weeks in a row. But they're not playing in the Circa contest, so let's go ahead and get started with that. And let's talk about the Survivor thing because this is a really short discussion. Everybody picked the Packers, and the Packers. Those were the top three picks. There was a couple minor hits below that, but I got to tell you, my proxy service is going to close if the Packers don't get there tomorrow. But I have no word on the street this week that that's any doubt going to happen. Everybody, all the modelers that I've talked to all week say the Packers are a very, very easy pick this weekend. So I know you played a few Packers. You want to tell before we go further? Do you want to tell people what you picked in the Survivor?
So I was planning to pick Packers in 3 of my 4.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Apparently, I've used the Packers in some of the ones that I actually have left. Uh, so I believe I picked them in 3 or 2.
Yep.
Again, this 3, okay. And I was looking at them potentially in 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time. They've got another home game that they should win. I can't think who they're playing offhand. But I think what that week's going to turn into, when I'm surely still surviving, is a Los Angeles week, because I think it's the Chargers and the Rams. Again, a week 8, week 9 or something they're both sort of pretty short. So I ended up using 3. The other one, I believe I picked the Colts
Yep.
because I didn't have the Packers available. So I had to actually go outside of it. I was looking at the Steelers. I don't know what happened from when I got on the plane to now, because that Colts game looks like it's gone from 7 to 10. So I guess it's feeling a little bit safer now. But I did. The Colts feared me because of Cardinals destroying everyone last week, and then you know how that happens. They just come back, beat them, and knock everybody out the following week.
Exactly.
Um, but yeah, so right now I got the Packers for 3, which just felt like that's it. I can't use the Packers again after this week once they win and move forward. Colts, I believe I've also now used and won't be able to use them again. So just figured I'd just pick the easy way, hopefully survive, and then start going to work next week again.
That sounds good. Well, I got to tell you, I had a couple really sharp proxy guys that were all over the Steelers, which
Yeah.
really shocked me. With Green Bay sitting out there, I was not surprised to be entering Green Bay over and over and over again. But a couple of really sharp guys stayed away from Green Bay and hammered Pittsburgh on a bunch of entries. So Pittsburgh comes in as your number 2 choice of the week. So again, it really shocked me when I saw you were on the Colts because there was a very few on the Colts at all. But number 3, was the Rams, which I thought was a very interesting pick also. But you didn't have any Rams either. Any of those?
No, and again, I was looking at them potentially in a couple of weeks because I can't remember the week. I don't have it in front of me, but there's 2 or 3 weeks away. Both the Packers and the Rams are expected to be double-digit favorites. Um, you know, Rams is probably a safe pick this week, but I don't like picking road teams. Just against what trying to do at this point in time. So the Steelers one I did tinker with that one. I even thought of using one of the Packer ones, the very last pick that I was looking and doing it on the Steelers just to spread it out a little bit. And then I just decided to go Packers and pass on that one. So, so looking at the numbers, I mean, Packers, there's really not a lot of money on the game. It is mainly heavy at the spread on the Bengals. The money line, there's not a lot of action either. The Steelers, we'll get to speak about them a bit later as we go into the plays of the week. They're heavy on the money line for the Steelers. Very heavy on the spread as well, but not so on the master side of it. So, Rams, we've got another game. So, funny enough, when we get into our play of the week at the end of this, we might be helping some of these survivors crash out. So,
Okay. Well, so we've covered the survivors. Let's talk about millions because this money was really spread out compared to Survivor being Packers, and Packers, and then a handful of Steelers. The millions is really spread out. But number one stands out as the Chargers. I almost called them the San Diego Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers. Did you have any master money on those guys?
So all the money is on, all the money, strong money on Miami here. Looking at 62% of the overall money and 78% of the master money, all looking at the plus 3.5. Was that game was 3? Was it? Was it 3 or 2.5?
Oh, you mean in the contest?
Yeah.
Contest, I think it was 3.5.
Okay.
That's from memory, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Okay. So yeah, we're mostly seeing Dolphins money there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because in the contest, I'm seeing all Charger money.
Hmm.
All Charger money. How about that Cowboys game? What do you think about this one?
Very little money on that one. I've actually backed the Cowboys to win a lot of things this year. Win it all, win the conference, win the division. So I hope they just go in there and do what they need to do on the Panthers and keep soldiering on. 75% of the money on the Cowboys, nothing on the master chart, but really there isn't a big amount of volume on the game.
Okay, the next one comes in as the Titans. What do you think about the Titans?
So I think this one was 4.5 on the Circa contest, and then the numbers pretty much fall flat everywhere. Well balanced, although it's like 98% of the master money's on the Titans. So that one seemed as pretty simple one where people again playing the number, but the master money is showing up on the Titans this week.
Okay. And here's a familiar team that we talk about almost every week, the Buffalo Bills. They check in as number 4 on the millions list. What do you think about them?
Yeah, really not much money on that game, but right now it is the Bills heavy, coming off their game last week. They usually don't lose 2 in a row, so everyone's expecting that they'll just do the business and turn it on. So really not a lot of money on that game either.
Okay. Well, the final one on the top 5 in the millions contest, we're going back to Pittsburgh. The Steelers hit number 5 on the millions chart.
Okay.
And go ahead with that one.
Yeah. So this is super, super heavy on the Steelers, and the master money is on the Browns. So let's start off with this is part of the play of the week.
Okay.
I did say part of. We've got an interesting one coming up this week. So right now we're looking at 82% of the money's on the Steelers. Diving into it a little bit. There is some teaser action, actually both up and down on this one. But the straight bets, pretty much, a lot of it's at -4.5, -5, -5.5. There is a chunk at -6 on the master money. I'm looking at +7, +6.5 there, but this line's moved up a little. So, but on the flip side, we've got 82% of the master money is on the Browns. So this is going to be the first leg of this week's round robin play of the week. Use the Browns plus the 6. I did see some 6.5s out there. So, take as many of the points as you can. Number 2 is Jets Broncos. Listen, I don't want to be on Jets with your money. So this one, though, again, we're just going off the data, going off the numbers. We're looking at 65% of the money is on the Broncos. Just dive in a little bit closer. But we're looking at 68% of the master money is on the Jets. However, I will say a lot of it is at 8 and a little bit at 8.5. So not as strong on this one, but I figured, well, while we're on it, we just add it into the round robin. And then the third one is we've got 76% of the money's on the Rams, yet 68% of the master money is on the Ravens. So, I mean, this really fits in, whereas there is a bunch of 7.5 and 8. Maybe it's worthwhile paying a little bit to just take the hook at the 7.5. And then the other master money is sort of the 6.5, -6.5, a little that's come in on the Rams. So we're going to go the Browns, the Jets, the Ravens, and let's just hope the Browns and the Ravens win outright and clean out some of that survivor mess that's still in there. Get rid of a few more. But yeah, that's what we're going to do this week. And we're going to do 2-team round robins. You've got to just take a little tweak at the 3-team parlay on them all, almost all, plus a touchdown. Browns not quite. Maybe you can buy it up and get the 7 as well. So That's what we're looking at this week.
Okay, so we've done 2 things different this week than we've ever done before. You've never recommended a parlay, let alone.
No, we did. We did a parlay last year, I think, and it won. Yeah.
Okay, I guess I don't remember the parlay we did last year. And I guess I was going to say the second thing you've done is my wife is really upset. She's from Pittsburgh, big Steelers fan, so she's not really happy with this pick at all. So not looking good here for me. So I'm gonna struggle cheering for you in the Browns game.
Well, they can always win; they just don't cover. I mean, we can both be happy on this one.
Okay, we'll have to split the middle there, I guess, is what we're going to have to do. So I can live a happy home and a happy friendship with you. That's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to basically bet a middle is what we're betting here. All right, we can live with that. The other thing I wanted to mention to you is I think we really want to get some audience feedback. Maybe not next week, but maybe the week after. Let's do a Twitter space. I mean, we'll lose the video, but we can bring up a handful of guests. We can bring up 2 or 3 guests and let them ask you a question. Because I get asked questions in the DMs all the time about you. And we covered a lot of them on Friday when we went to lunch. But it'd be nice to have you be able to answer questions for 2 or 3 people, and we'll make it a little more interactive. Maybe not next week, but maybe the week after. We'll have to look at Nebraska's schedule, because that show will definitely be longer since you'll be taking questions. But I think we pretty much got this one covered. Bottom line this week, I'm not hearing anything bad from my sources, the originators I deal with, about the Packers. They all believe the Packers are going to win fairly easily. Looks like we're going to have a very standard Survivor week. And if we don't, pretty much Survivor's done with VHP Proxy, because I think 80+% of my guys are sitting on the Packers, except for I got that group that's on the Steelers. But what else do you think about the weekend here? You have any thoughts?
No, I'm just trying to survive, take it easy, and just I mean, there's almost a lot of bad teams in the NFL right now. It's hard to sort of separate what's good and what's not. I like that we're getting now to the point where there's a bit of, upheaval. I don't like it that it's on my Survivor picks and whatnot. So, stick to the other games. but yeah, there seems like there's a fair bit of parity on the middle to bottom of the team, so it makes for an interesting Sunday.
Yes, it does. It should be a great Sunday. And again, we're getting up, oh my God, early. First game on the West Coast is at 6:30 a.m. So it's going to be a full day of football. I can't wait for it. And especially to see all the futures changing on Nebraska today. I'm anxious to see when everybody gets those things moved. It's always good to see Nebraska strong. That's good for college football. And it's definitely good for my house.
All right, well, good luck to all those on the Survivor, good luck to those on the Millions, and just good luck to those having a bet tomorrow.
Yeah, good luck to everybody and go Big Red.
All right, cheers.